G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out with Julie, and today I'm going to do a resin pour as opposed to an acrylic paint pour. Now, make sure that you watch the previous video on how I made these freeform geode coasters. So to clean them before I pour, I always spray a little bit of alcohol into each one. This one is actually, I think it's 99% alcohol. And then I just get, actually don't use a paper towel. Don't use a paper towel because it leaves little bits around. Use one of these dry cloths or like a microfiber cloth, something that's not going to leave bits of fluff, okay? So just go around and clean the inside of your mold. Just in case there's any hairs, bits of fluff, dust, things like that. The alcohol will evaporate pretty much straight away, so you don't have to wait for them to dry. Do a couple and then get another piece of like a clean area on your cloth, because you don't want to put dust that you've just taken from there into the next one. So I do a couple and then move the cloth around so that I can get a clean piece. Okay, so once your cloth's had a chance to dry, maybe you can take it outside and give it a good shake to get rid of all the fluff and things that you've just picked up. You don't want to shake it over here next to you and then it all falls back in again, okay? So we're ready to go. I've tested them, they're leak proof. I'm using the Barnes Clariti. It's a 2-to-1 resin, and it's heat resistant to 145 degrees. Now I've done blues, I've done greens, I've done purples. I haven't done like a reddish, yellowish, orangish color. So I'm going to do that today. I've got my resin here. I've got 325 grams, and I'm sure that will be plenty for 6 coasters. I know that I can weigh out 100 grams of part B, and 200 grams of part A weighs 225 grams. So I can just weigh it now and know it's going to be right. Now, I have ordered some kind of geode roundish coasters, but everything's just taking so long. I've got these, which are more of an oval, but I wanted sort of a more of a round. So that's why I've poured my own. And this is only a set of 6 in this mold. So that's why I decided to do, sorry, that one was a set of 4. So that's why I've decided to do 6, and they're kind of a more roundish. So I'm just going to get straight into it. I've got my red pigment paste. This one's called Red Violet. It's by Solid Solutions. I've got some Sunbright Yellow Pinata Alcohol ink. I've got a little bit of Pearl X in orange. I've got a little bit of Bling It Interference Gold and some orangish glitter. So I'm just going to divide this just a little bit for the dark red. So the dark red's going to go around the outside. These little cups are 120 mils. I know I said last time they were 150, but they're actually 120, 4 ounce cups. So just a little bit for the dark red to go around the outside, because I like the dark color on the outside, but you can't have too much because it really takes over. And the interference gold takes over as well. So that's just a half a cup. The glitter, it can just have like just enough to cover the bottom. And then the last cup is for my clear. I'm just going to put half in at the moment. So the ones that I'm going to need the most of is the alcohol ink and this orange mica powder. Got a little bit of clear left. I'll just put it over there. I like to keep a little bit of my clear left in case I run out of a color, then I can make some more. Now this stuff, pigment paste, it's really, really strong. Dip your stick in and that's it. Okay, don't put too much in. It's probably already too much. I want to have them have a slight translucency to them. Actually, that's probably not quite enough. But just go easy on it, okay? Don't put too much in. I'll have another little dip. Put that in. Rather go slowly, add little bits. Otherwise, you know, you might just get way too much. It's kind of a little bit of a pinky tone. I've got another one. I actually might add a little bit of the other one to it just to make it a bit more red. It's that one there. I wanted it dark, but I wanted it more red. So this one is called Red. So let's just put, again, just dip in. Oops, doesn't want to stick now. Dip in and in there. Let's see what that looks like. And I contemplated using black for the edge. But you know what black and yellow do? Like black and that yellow, it would just, I'm sure it would just make this awful baby poo green. Oh, that's pretty. Baby poo green colour. So that's why I had the black here, and then I changed my mind at the last second and went for the red. But I wanted a dark red. Now the Pinata, give it a good shake, alcohol ink. And let's just do a squirt to begin with. It's hard to see the colour because it kind of sticks to the side of the cup and you think that it's darker than it is. So make sure that you go around and round and round. Let's do another squirt. It's a full cup, so 2 squirts I think will be plenty. Let's put those over there. I really shouldn't stir over my coasters, should I? Need something over the top of them so that I don't drip anything into them. I think that'll do. I'll just keep it light. As I said, I just want a little bit of lightness in today's pour. I've been making them really dark lately. Just have to peel the top off that one. Look at that. Now I'm going to mix this one over here. I'm going to take a scoop and I'm going to mix it off camera just because I don't want all the mica flying into my coasters. Actually, I'll put you on pause. I'll mix up the next couple because it's boring watching me mix, isn't it? Okay. Oh, I can't get my glove off. I'll be back in a sec. Righto, so I've got my colours all mixed up, as you can see. Now let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit. I'll leave the colours at the back so that you can see what I'm using. I think it's nice to have them there. So that's about as close as I can get. I added another squeeze of yellow because it's always good to test. Like take a little bit of your colour and just wipe it onto a bit of paper towel because it looks very different in the cup. And then you can see on the paper towel what it actually looks like and you can decide if you need a little bit more or not. Righto, let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a little tiny bit of this red around the outside and I'll just squeeze the cup like that. That's the good thing about having the paper cups is you can just take a little bit around the outside like that. I'll do that to all of them. I haven't used this red before, so I don't know how much it's going to take over. I love that colour though. I'm glad I added two colours together. So don't be afraid of mixing your colours. You know, if you haven't got quite the right shade, you can mix a couple together. And I'm going to do a puddle pour. I just think that gives you the best effect and you get a nice sort of rounded shape in the middle because everything's gone out in a puddle and it's all sort of dispersed to the outside equally. So I do like that. There's a tiny little bit of red left. Actually, maybe I'll just fill in my little gaps where I've got little gaps of colour that's not touching. I've got a little bit more resin, so if I want some more red, I can always make a little bit up. But I think, and I'm not sure, but I think that the red will kind of push in. Just pushing that out to the edges. Might as well use it up. Look, there's hardly any in there. Might as well use it up, eh? Don't want to waste any. Just push it out to all the edges. I'm not sure if it's going to be like the black. You know when you use black around the edges and it really takes over? Don't know if it'll do that. Okay, that's enough. Right, now the next one I want to do is, because that's, the red is an opaque colour, so the next one I'm going to put down is the transparent. So alternate, opaque, transparent, semi-transparent, and so forth. And also light, dark, well, in this case dark, then light. Let's pour a little bit in the middle. I just want to make sure I've got enough for all of the coasters, so pour a little bit in first. And make sure it's going to cover the bottom. Looks like I'm only going to have enough to do one layer of each colour. Doesn't matter if you've got a little bit of a gap. When you put your next puddle on, it'll push the colour to the outside. Look at the red, how it's bleeding in already. It does take over. Right, now the next one is my orange. Just a little bit on the transparent side, so let's put a puddle in. Hope I didn't put too much red in. Hope it doesn't take over too much. I've got quite a lot of this orange. Maybe I can do another layer later on. Righto. Now let's put a little bit of clear in. I like what the clear does. Just a little bit. Well, it certainly looks like they're going to be red. Yay. It's nothing worse than saying, I want a red coaster, and then it ends up orange or something. Now, there's a little bit of my clear left in there. I'm just going to put it into the rest of my clear. Then I know that that's all I've got left. Now with my glitter, I hardly put any in. I just put like an end of a stick in. I don't want too much. You know when you turn your coaster over and there's this huge big blob of glitter and that's all you can see? I didn't want that. Like that. You know how you just get a big blob of glitter in the middle? It's okay, but I just thought this time I'll just put a little bit less in. And make it a little bit more of a transparent. Okay, so that was the clear. I don't know that we're going to get much effect actually without a black. It's the black mica powder that seems to make the effects. Anyway, let's go with the Interference Gold in the middle. Let's catch the drips because I don't want any drips going into the edges. The Interference Gold's really pretty. It doesn't tend to sink as much as like a normal gold would. Let's put a little bit more in because I've got a little bit left. Now these will just self-level. Obviously my coasters are a little bit uneven on the tops, you know, because I used a free form way of making them. So they're not all going to be level on the top. Stack up my cups, get them out of the way. Now I've got a little bit more orange. Let's put some more orange in, just because I've got it. That red's really taken over, my gosh. Didn't need that much, did I? Here I was worried about not having enough. It's just, yeah, it's strange. Your outside colour, especially if it's an opaque, really takes over. Okay, that's the rest of my orange. It'll probably be better on the other side. Okay, so now Now, I'm going to put a little bit of this glitter in, and then I'm going to pour a little bit of clear over the top just to disperse the glitter a bit so we don't get that big blob. I haven't made up very much. I don't want very much glitter. Just a little bit of glitter. Doesn't need to be too much. Hopefully I've got enough to go around. It doesn't look as if I have. I'm going to be like a tiny bit short. Look at that. I haven't got enough. And just mix up a tiny little bit more. And just a few little glitters in there. Hardly any. There we go. Just enough for the last one. We probably need a little bit more than that. Oops, dropped in just as while the lid was still on. Okay. Give that a stir. Everybody can just have a tiny bit more because I don't want to waste it. And then when I pour the clear in over the top of this, it will just disperse it a little bit more too. Really keen to see what the other side's going to look like. Let me torch and then I can pour some clear over the top. Baby wipes are really great. Huggies I've got here, because I've got this little timber board that I've had cut to size, and if I spill any resin on it I can just wipe it off. And if you do get any resin on your hands, you can use the baby wipes to wipe that off as well, but make sure that you are wearing your gloves. Okay, now let's torch. I always forget to torch. It'd be interesting to see how my silicone handles heat. I know you're not supposed to use a flame, but I don't want my design, because I've gone to a lot of trouble of doing the puddle pour to keep my design symmetrical and in a circle. I don't want to ruin that by blowing it with the heat gun. All right, now I've only got half a cup of clear left, so each one's just going to have just a tiny bit, just to disperse those glitters. And then I'll just keep going until I've used up all my clear. Hopefully they'll be about the same height. They've all got, you know, pretty much the same size blob in them. When I poured, each one kind of had the same size. Okay, that's that one done. Get rid of my little cups. Now I'm just going to wipe, because I've got resin on my gloves. You can use your little baby wipe just to get the resin off your gloves. Otherwise, when you pick up your torch, you're going to get, you know, resin all over your torch. So that's a little trick. Let's torch again. Okay, that will do. Alrighty, doesn't look much at the moment. And also, if you've dropped some resin on your mat, you can clean it up with your baby wipe. So see how the mat's just stayed in place when I poured? The silicone is a lovely mat to use. It just stays in place. Right, I don't think there's much point in me taking you... Oh, look, I'll take you down for a close-up. Why not? If I can get my gloves off. Oops, wrong light. There's not a lot to see from up here. I think the magic is going to be when I turn them out. At the moment it's just just looking like red. I would have thought that red would have actually sunk, but it seems to be sitting over the top. I can see the gold underneath. Actually, if you look really, really carefully, there's a red rim on the bottom. And then the gold sits on top of that. So yeah, I think it's going to be really pretty once it's flipped over. I think the back will be the side to use for sure. All right, I'll see you tomorrow for the unmolding. Good morning. I'm very excited to test out my new lovely Geode coasters. The top really hasn't changed very much. It doesn't look very exciting, I must say. But let's have a look at the backs anyway. Look, they're stuck. How cool is that? All right, let's do this. See how we get these out. I've got my glove on just so that I don't get fingerprints and oily marks all over my coasters. Oh, look, it's coming. It's coming away. Yay. Look at that. Much better than that one I did the other day. Now, I want to reuse these coasters, so I don't want to risk tearing them off my silicone mat. Oh, look at that. It's free all over. Got a few little sharp edges there. Ooh, look. Oh, look, it says, I'm coming out. Here I come. Look at that. Oh, it's so sparkly. Oh, look, we've got the red edge. That gold's really taken over, though. I must say, the gold has taken over. The, what was it? The interference. But it's got these little pretty lines. Those little, aren't they cute? So it's basically just red around the outside and the rest of it's all gold. But it's still really pretty, so let's leave it. Now the edges, they're not too bad. Once I sand a few little areas, it's going to look quite natural, isn't it? And I did actually, I'll show you, I did actually go and buy a Dremel. I haven't opened the box yet, but that's what I bought from Bunnings. Dremel. So it comes with all these little sanding tools. I'm only going to use this one here, I would think. That little one there. There's bits here. And then once it sort of runs out, or the coarseness of the sandpaper gets too fine, you can just go and buy more little bits of sandpaper. So that's what I'm going to be using. Yay, just plug it in. All right, let's get to the rest of these. Otherwise, I'm going to be here forever. Try and go a little bit faster. I'm sorry my videos have been so long lately. Oh, there's a bit of a sharp edge there. I'm assuming these are all going to be the same. And look how easy it pops out, and it's just all clean. There's nothing left behind. There's the front. I guess maybe you'd like the front. To me, it's a little bit too boring. And then the same on the back, the red around the outside. Actually, this one's a little bit different. This one's got the red. Cut my finger. And then it's got the darker gold, and then it's got the lighter gold in the center. Does that one have it as well? It does. It's not so pronounced though. This one's much more pronounced. Let's do you want to watch me do them all? They're all going to be the same, aren't they? I'll try and be quick. And then I want to coat one of the edges. Actually, I won't be able to, will I? I'll have to sand them. I was going to say I'll coat one of the edges, but I'm going to have to sand them first. So look at that. I used the tiniest little bit of glitter, as you saw. What do you think? They're a bit a bit different. Not at all what I was expecting. I assumed I was going to have more sort of red and orange in them, but that interference gold really took over. That's pretty much all we see, really. You see the edges? Pretty good. They're pretty good. They look, you know, once I've sanded off a few little edges, they're going to look very, very organic and realistic. I'm using my new camera. So excited. I went and got a new phone yesterday. I got the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. So it's got a really good camera on it apparently. So I'm looking forward to playing this back and seeing how the quality is. Let me know if you find that you're getting nice close-ups. It's nice and clear. Hopefully it is. Well, it probably doesn't really know what to focus on because it's got things in the background and then things in the foreground. So again, very, very similar, all of these guys. Let's do the last one. So happy with these coaster molds, you guys. Now, what do you think of the shape? Do they look geode-y? Well, they make a very nice set. They're all pretty much identical. And this is the way I'd use them, that side. And I think they'd look really pretty with the gold edge, don't you think? So that's them there. I'll just put them on their stand. Let me zoom you out a little bit. Look! Yay! I can use it again. Woohoo! Very excited. Now when I do my next coaster set, because I have ordered some more of those baking mats. My store was out. I took the last one, but I'm going to order more. And I'm going to make the actual silicone that comes out a little bit thinner, just so that I can get a little bit more of an accurate sort of a line around, because these are pretty much, you know, I couldn't make them any more intricate. That's the word, intricate. So I'm going to try with a thinner amount of silicone and see if I can get them a little bit more intricate. But look, for my first time, yay, I'm really, really happy with those. Well, my first time that actually worked. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I will do some sanding. I'll put some gold pen around the outside, and then I'll show you the finished product at the end of this video. Now, I am using Model Master Gold. As far as I know, it's made by the same people that make testers. I can't get testers in Australia, and shipping is hugely, hugely expensive just for one little bottle. I'll put that over there so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just using my little brush, and I'm going to go over the edges. It's certainly not as easy, I find, as using the little pen. You know, the gold leaf pen. This one. Not as easy as that. And also, see, you can, when you're painting the sides, some can go onto the front, so you just have to be really careful. So that's how you do it. Put some gloves on so that you don't smudge it. I won't do the whole thing while you're waiting because it's going to take too long. And then to do the top edge, I just dip the brush in there, and I'm sort of going to use half, just want to use the side of the brush and just follow that around, just so I've got a very thin little amount on the actual top edge there. It's probably not that easy to do when I'm trying to watch the screen as well as watching what I'm doing. You can wipe it off if you make a mistake, but if it dries, you can't get it off. I've tried alcohol wipes, it doesn't come off. I'm going to have to research what takes enamel paint off. Might have to get like thinners or something like that, but yeah, it's not as easy as using the pen, but it's a very big edge there, and you know, I'd use up all my gold pen. And also it takes longer, this takes longer to dry, I've found, than that gold Krylon pen. The pen's pretty much dry straight away. This takes a while. Okay, so that'll be it. I'll continue it because it's going to take a little while. You don't need to see the whole thing. And then I'll be back with, I'll show you all of them done.